Hello, this is Jeff, and we're back to the second video on how to create high poly dice modeling. And we're going to go ahead and start creating the divots. But first we're going to have to get a reference in here into our scene. So I'm going to go ahead and pull a reference in. First I'm going to use a polygon primitive plane. And I'm going to go 6 by 6 by 1 by 1. And in the Y directions, click on Create. I'm going to hit the 6 key. I'm going to add a material to this by right-clicking over it. You won't be able to see this menu, so just right-click over the object and go to Assign New Material. And I'm going to click on Lambert. I'm just going to rename this background TX. Go through the color and click on to Detextures, File, Off, and then I've got a file here that I found online. We're going to use that as a template. I'm going to go to the top view, hit the 6 key, and on the top view I'm going to go to Shading, go to X-Ray. Alright, that way you can see everything. I'm going to go ahead and click on the wireframe. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the plane and position the 6 and scale that up. And go ahead and position this. Scale it up a little bit more. And move it. There we go. And that looks just about right. Basically putting each one of these circles right in the center of this. And this makes it really nice. Okay, and even. That looks pretty good. Alright, pretty happy with that. Pretty close. Okay, next thing we're going to do is we're going to create... let's go ahead and put this on in a layer too as well. I'm going to do Control A and make a new layer. We're going to call this background BG and save. We're going to put this as a template, so make it visible and then R. There we go, so we don't select it accidentally. I'm also going to put the high poly, don't forget you do this, and put that in R as well. So now we can't select it accidentally. That'll kind of slow you down a little bit. And we're going to go to Create, Polygons, and then Sphere. We're going to have a radius of 1, 8 divisions, and Y. And we're going to click on Create. And move that up. Go to Side View. And delete the faces underneath. Oh, the other way around. Delete all the faces on top. There we go. Next thing I want to do is I want to squish it down a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to get in selection mode. I'm going to hit the R key and squash this down to create a divot. Kind of shallow. There we go. And I'm going to click on Edge and select every other one of these edges and hit delete. There we go. How to clean it up a little bit. Then I'm going to double click on the edge, and that should highlight the whole thing. I'm going to go to the top view, and I'm going to go to Edit Mesh and go to the option box of Extrude. I'm going to reset settings and Extrude. And I'm going to go ahead and hit the R key and scale this out. There we go. Right. I'm going to click on select, and I'm just going to scale the whole thing down. And I'm going to move it into place and scale this down a little bit more. Okay. Hit the 3 key and the 6 key again. I want that outer edge just to outline the dot itself. I'll scale that down just a bit, smidgen more. There we go, something like that. And that's what it looks like. The divots, click off of that. There we go. Let's turn wireframe off a second so we can kind of get an idea. We need some tighter edges right here. So what I'm going to do is hit the 1 key again. And I am going to go into selection mode. And go to insert edge loop tool. We're going to insert an edge loop right here. And right on the outside here. Like that. So 2 edge loops, one right here, one on the outside. Okay, now I'm going to go back into selection mode. What we're going to do now is we're going to use the grid system, so let's click on the grid. What we're going to do now is just kind of move these vertices around, and I'm going to go ahead and turn off the grid system and move this over. So it's kind of right in the middle. Move that down a little bit. And I'll place the divot where it needs to be, but right now I'm going to go ahead and use the grid snap. And that's going to snap it that way. So we want to snap it to the top of this object here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to perspective view, and I am going to move this down now. And I am going to go ahead and use grid snap to scale that, get that down to that level. And that perfectly lays it right on top. And then I'm good to click on vertex and hold down the V key and snap it to the vertex. Alright, let's go check it out. See if we're right on the level there. That looks good. Okay. Alright, so what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and duplicate and do Control D. And I'm going to keep grid snap on. Control D. And looks like it snaps too far over. That's really bizarre. Okay. Huh. Interesting. Okay, anyway. We'll go ahead and move that over here. I'll go ahead and turn off grid snap there and bring it over here. Just try to manually place it. Okay. I'll click on this one here. Just go to select. And that one looks like it snaps pretty good. So when here, we're going to have to move manually a little bit more in there. Okay. Get it as close as we can. Okay, we gotta click on this one and shift click and click the rest of these guys. Do a Control D. Move those over here. line those up as best that I can. Okay. Alright, we got one more to do. And we're going to do a Control D on that one and move that in the center. And that should give us all of our divots that we need to finish this up. Okay, let's turn off the high poly. Here's our objects here. I'm going to hit the 3 key just to see how it looks. And it looks pretty good. Got our divot going on there. Looks really good. Okay. Let's click on it again and go to 1. Alright, so what we want to do now is we're going to go to the next lesson and we're going to get everything duplicated over and we'll start placing everything together and merging vertices.